Okay, so we started last week. The second commandment, right, is we shouldn't have another God, right? The way that it's written, right, we shouldn't recognize, right, other gods than Hashem, right? So we said that this actually it finishes the first commandment, right? The first commandment is Am Hashem Yigad, is the positive commandment to know Am Hashem Yigad. This is the negative one, right? Not to have a different God, right? So that's why we said it's actually like two that go together. And we explained also, for many commentaries, these are the two that was said directly from God, right? We explained the idea of the Malbim, right? That a person is born with the idea of believing in God because these were directly, right, came from God. Okay, so now includes in that is if this is a idea that it could be by action, right? If somebody will go to worship another ideal, right, or serve another God, or even by accepting another God. Even if somebody came to a decision, right, that he's accepting another God, he already broke this commandment. Okay? So this is the idea, not only, right, by doing an action, even just by accepting, that will be already a problem. Okay? Okay, included in that, you have in a verse, right, that we shouldn't make, right, for ourselves. So who wants to read verse 4?
You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the water beneath the earth.
Okay. So what's the prohibition here? So we shouldn't make carved images, right? Or something that looks like, right? Not anything that is heaven or, right, here on earth.
Why does it have to specify? Why can't it just say, don't make a carved image of any likeness?
Oh, so the idea is like this. It might be a difference in this image of what? So we'll see in a minute. I'll explain. Okay? Just go on to verse 5.
You shall not prostrate yourself to them, nor worship them, for I am Hashem your God, a jealous God, who visits the sin of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generations for my enemies, but who shows kindness for thousands of generations to those who love me and observe my commandments.
Okay, so this is actually finishing the second commandment, right? It's adding another two prohibitions, right? Not to make any curved images, right? And not to bow to them, not to serve them, right? These images. Now, so this is finishing, right? By not worshiping idols. God is giving us a little bit more details. Yeah. What's included in worshiping idols? So not to make, right, curved images, and not to serve them, not to bow to them. Okay. So now the idea is like this. I'll just get, again, the basics. So first of all, it's very interesting. The commentaries explain, it says here, because I'm a jealous God. What that means, I'm a jealous God. So we find this word, kana, right, in Hebrew, kel kana, a jealous God. We find it only by worshiping idols. What's the idea? So the idea is like this, guys, very simple. The relationship of Jewish people and God are like? Very good. So in many ways, it's like father and son, right? Servant and master, but a love in many ways, like Shlomo said, right? Husband and wife. Different views to explain this relationship. You're familiar with the Shir HaShirim? Asher Shlomo, very good. Looks like you know about it, right? So, right, Shlomo HaMelech wrote, right, a book, Shir HaShirim, and the Talmud says, if all books are holy, this is holy of holy, because that explains deep, right, the relationship between God and Jewish people. Now, a man that finds out that his wife is cheating on him, how does he feel? Huh? How does he feel?
Not good, man.
He's angry, right? Upset, frustrated, right? You name it, right? Disaster, right? So that's the idea. The idea is like this. Only by worshiping idols, they said, I'm a jealous God. Why only by worshiping idols? Because that's a contradict. That's a conflict. The idea is like this. A man cannot say, well, I believe in God, but I have another God. Oops, that doesn't work, right? Over there, it's a direct conflict, meaning you can't love God 100% and have another God. You hear the problem, right? It will be like a married woman saying, I love my husband, for sure I love him, but, well, I have another guy on the side. Oops, does that work? That's the idea. So that's coming to highlight the idea, right? Explaining, so it has the, right, showing you, the upside of it is showing you how great is the relationship of God and the Jewish people, right? And therefore, if somebody is worshiping idols, right, is directly contradicting the idea. Oops, you can go have another God, right? That's like a married woman going to another husband, to another man. Okay, so that's why it's written only over here by worshiping idols. The way that it works, if you open the ideas like this, let me just explain to you. The Talmud brings down that you're not allowed to make, especially the images. You ask why, we're going a bit the images. So it says carved images for my likeness, that which are in heavens and in earth. So it seems to be that those that are more of a problem than others. For example, it's such a concept, I'm not going to go into it now, but kiseh hakavod. You heard about that idea, kiseh hakavod? You know what that means?
The throne of glory.
Kiseh is the chair, the chariot of God, of kavod. And in it there are some images. In kiseh hakavod there are some images. And we know that we have the ox, right? A lion, and
An
eagle, right? What else?
and a man.
And a man, right? So those four are more of a problem. Yeah, thank you, Mordechai. So we know that they exist there. On Kiseh HaKavod, it's in heaven. We never took a tour to there. So, right, but according to how we know this, because it says the prophets saw in the vision, when they had prophecy, they saw in the vision, they saw these things, the image of an ox, man, lion, and an eagle. So those four are more specific a problem, and anything that is heaven includes sun, moon, stars. Because remember, if you remember, I explained to you last week that many movements of worshiping idols, they said like this, God created everything, but the sun and the moon and the stars, so to speak, are like his ministers. So let's honor, let's respect the ministers. And some of them said, even from honor, you know, maybe it's not appropriate for us to speak directly to God. We are so far away, we are so small, right? Maybe it's not respectful for us to speak to God. So we should speak to the intermediate, and they're making an intermediate as if he's God, right, that they should speak to him. So that's the idea, that's referring to this, right, that we shouldn't serve, pray, believe, make others, right? So that's why it says here we shouldn't make these statues, the curved images of these. Okay? So especially the four things that are in the chariot of God, in Kiseh HaKavod, and also anything that is heaven, meaning the sun, moon, stars. I'll just give you some issues, guys, that, let's say, practically speaking. The Talmud brings down in Avodah Zarah, so obviously if you want more details, you know, I'll just explain to you. A few years ago, was a whole, people think today, you know, who worship idols, what's that has to do with us, right? It's over, right? But you should know that a few years ago, let me tell you, it was about 10 years ago, there was a whole tumult here in Israel about the wigs of women. What happened is they found out that the wigs come from...
Avodah Zarah in India.
Oh, so hold on, right? All wigs come from, most of wigs come from India. What's the story? The story is like this, that people did give as a donation, as a dedication, right, the wigs to the temple, to the church, whatever it is. So it became a big issue. Oops, maybe it's Avodah Zarah. Maybe it's worshiping idols, meaning they go to that whatever church or whatever, and there's a priest sitting there, and one of the dedications that you do is you give your own hair. And then you wonder how the priest has money, right? And they sell this for millions, right? Millions of people, thousands for sure, give their hair, and then they go and they sell it. You wonder how the church has money, right? So now, is it worshiping idols or no? So in the beginning, there came a whole tumult that people were saying, what do you mean? They dedicate it, and that, so it becomes. But those that said, hold on, it's not that simple, because the question is, what's the meaning exactly behind it? It's like, right, you have to go into the nuances to know, is it really worshiping idols? It could be they're just giving it a dedication, right? So that's okay. The question of cutting the hair itself and giving it, that's worshiping idols. Is that a level like serving the God that they believe, or the statue, whatever it is, or no? So went into details to go into nuances. The people that traveled to India actually to check it out. In the end of the day, what happened is, I think they found out that it's not worshiping idols. But to be on the safe side, I think many people today do not bring from India, from that place. You hear the idea, right? So you had to go into nuances to know, what that means. Is it part of Avodah Zarah or no? So just that you should know that even in 2015 or 5,775, right, it's still relevant, right? Avodah Zarah still exists in the world. And here you go, it's a big tumult about the wigs. Okay? It was 10 years ago. Right, so that they did.
What about cows?
Well,
Indian cows.
yeah, okay. The idea is like this: anything that you take in something physical and give it their power, right? Making it holy, or as a god, or as an intermediate, or as a partner, is worshiping idols. Okay, guys. So just that you should know that, you think that we're far away, but it's still connected in our days. Okay, guys. Let me bring to you some subjects. The Talmud. Alex, you okay? You hear me there? Mm-hmm. Good. Kiddush HaChodesh, guys. You familiar with the mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh? To sanctify the first day of the month. The way that it works, guys, the cycle of the moon is 29 days, right? And 12 hours, right? And such of an hour. When, back in the day, when we had this Sanhedrin, if I saw the new moon, meaning the new cycle starting, it means that the month is over, and now we're going into the new month, to the next month. So back in the day, if me and another fellow saw it, we had a mitzvah to travel to Jerusalem and to give that information to the Jewish court. The Jewish court used to check us out, right? Investigate, check if it's really true. And if yes, they used to establish and say, okay, right, the 30th day of the month turns over to be the first day of the next month. So just basic again, every 30th of a month had an option to turn over to be the first of the next month. If there were witnesses that came and travel and say, hey, we saw the new moon. So the Beis Din investigates, checks it out. If it's really true, right, that turns over, the 30th turns over to be the first month of the next month. Okay? Rabbi Gamliel was the president of the Jewish court, the Sanhedrin, and he had images of the moon. And he used to tell the witnesses, how did you see the moon? This image, that size, this size, right? And he showed them in the sky how it could be. So the Talmud in Avodah Zarah is asking, how did Rabbi Gamliel had images of the moon? Isn't it a prohibition? You hear the problem, right?
Was it drawn images or statues?
Statues.
But he wasn't worshiping it.
Okay, very good, but right, correct, but you're not allowed to do it anyways. It's one prohibition of making it, another prohibition of worshiping it. If somebody makes this, right, is a prohibition. If he worships it, it's even a penalty of death. So I'll tell you what the Talmud says, guys. 3 answers the Talmud says, okay? One is, the idea is like this. So again, we're dealing here, just remember carefully, there are two issues. One is making them. One prohibition is making them. Now, is that clear, right? Even just to make them is a problem. Another issue is if somebody actually serves them and worships them, right? That's already worshiping idols, right? That's another, that you can compromise on that, guys, right? So you understand it's two separate things. One is making them. Another issue, if somebody actually served them, was worshiping idols, right? So what's the issue with Rav Gamliel? Only which issue? Having it or making it, right? That's the issue. Obviously, he did not worship it, so we're not talking about worshiping idols. We're just talking about the prohibition making these images, okay? So how did he make it? That's the question. Or how did he have it? So the Talmud brings down and he says like this, three answers. In a place of public is no concern, because the idea is like this, that idea is that you shouldn't keep it, you shouldn't make it, you shouldn't keep it, you shouldn't hold on to it, right? Why? Because it looks like that you might come and worship it. So if you're talking in a public place, right, that it's use of the public, it's not a problem. Because they're not concerned that the whole public, the whole crowd will worship this. So in a place of public, it's okay. The Beis Din, the Jewish court, is a place of public. Witnesses are constantly coming into the place. People are coming out, in and out. So we are no concern that somebody, God forbid, will worship it. Another answer, that it was made from pieces. It was not complete. Meaning he used to, like, put the pieces together. So it wasn't something complete.
What if it had a scratch or a scar? Purposely he made a scratch or a scar?
Could be, but even a better answer, it was made from parts. So it wasn't a full image, okay? It was not, meaning it was not a full image of the moon, okay? It was made of pieces. When the witnesses came, he used to put them together. But it's something that you put on and take off. So it wasn't a problem of making a curved image, okay? Another answer the Talmud brings, that to learn is different. Meaning, why did Rabbi Gamliel do this? To check the witnesses, if they're saying the truth or no. So the only way to know if the witnesses are saying the truth or no, he has to show them in real something. What kind of a moon did you see, right? This size, that size, right? The only way to know the truth, which kind of a moon they saw, is to check them and to show them the image of the moon. So by training and showing and in order to test them, that's the only way to do it. So it's okay. So we have three answers, guys. How did Gamliel had these images of the moon? Yes?
An assay overrides a low assay. So if it's the only way to know things.
To sanctify the moon is a mitzvah. Remember, guys, that the Jewish calendar is very important, because to know when is the first day of the month, I'll know when are the holidays, right? If I don't know when is the first day of the month, I don't know really when is the real holiday. So the dates are very crucial for us. So those, I just give you the basics, guys, that you should be aware, right? So the Talmud does ask, how did Rabbi Gamliel had these images, right? And the Talmud gives three answers, okay? It's brought down in the Shulchan Aruch, right? Not to make curved images of an ox, man, lion, and an eagle. For those four, more specific, because like I told you, these are the animals that in the chariot of God, okay? And not to make any image of angels, right, or men. Now, it does bring down that drawing is okay, but sun, moon, or stars, that not even drawing. So we're most on the sun and moon and stars seem to be more strict, not to do even drawing. Okay? Okay, guys. It might be another idea that, you see, curved images, it's only if it's complete. If it's anything that it's not complete, so it's not a problem. It's less of a problem. So it could be that line is missing a leg or missing something that makes it already less of a problem. Guys, I'm pointing out the points that you should be aware. When a situation comes, before you smash this statue, ask your rabbi, okay? So don't go ahead and smash the statue. Ask your rabbi, because it has to be, I'm just bringing the things that you should be aware. Okay, and I'll just mention another two things, guys. Back in the day, in America, Reb Moshe Feinstein, guys, you heard about Reb Moshe Feinstein? was a great rabbi in America, Moshe Feinstein. He was asked the following. In the city of John Kennedy, right, they wanted to put a statue in his memory, right? And they were asking from the Jews, also from the Orthodox Jews, to participate, to give donations for making like a memorial site in the memory of Kennedy, and they wanted to put a statue of Kennedy. And this rabbi is asking Rav Moshe Feinstein, is it a problem of making, right, curved image, right, of making a statue?
Supporting.
Is the Jew, well, yeah, supporting and have a part in it.
Oh, they wanted them to make it too?
They're asking that the rabbi should go in the shul, should go in the community and raise money for this also. They're raising, it came from the people. I said, guess the city gave part, the people were giving part. So anyways, so this rabbi was asked, is he allowed, right? He's told by the city, by the government to go and raise money for the statue of Kennedy. Is that a problem or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes? Why?
Because you can't make a statue of a person.
I think no.
So Mordechai is saying you can't make a statue of a person.
I think it's not a problem because you have to do where you live and not technically do where you live, but you're not.
You have religious freedom, so you can tell them no.
So it's a problem. So if it's why is he asking Moshe Feinstein if he thinks it's a
Because
problem? He shouldn't do
maybe,
it.
because maybe
Right,
you can
guy.
do it. It's
He's asking, is it okay or no?
It's better not to have it's better not to have problems with the city. It's like, oh, okay, we can do it. We can do it.
So guys, even, you see, it's less of a problem. Listen, Mordechai, I told you, to make a curved image applies for who? Jews or non-Jews?
Jews.
Only for Jews. Who's making it here?
Goyim.
Only non-Jews, right? So Rav Moshe Feinstein said, yeah, it's not a problem. They're making it, right? Now, it's no...
Isn't there laws, 7 laws of Noah? That's one of their laws.
No, they're not worshiping it. It's a statue for a memorial to remember the man. Nobody's going to worship this. It's not a question. It's not a question of worshiping this. It's a question of a memorial
So
thing.
why is he asking Rabbi Moshe Feinstein if it's obviously not a question that it's not going to be worshipped?
Okay, because again, do you have it?
Can you raise money for it?
Can you raise money?
So
Could
yes,
you just?
you're
Idol
allowed
something
to
you
make
worship.
Rega, hold on, guys.
it, make it.
Verse number 4. Read number 4, right? What says in number 4?
So you can't make it and worship it.
I told you, it's two separate things. One issue is making the curved images. Another issue is worshiping it. So guys, in terms of making it, applies only for Jews, right, Matt? Applies only for Jews, right? So therefore, do we have a problem here, right? The city is taking care of it. It's non-Jews. And he said, even better, that the people that are giving money for this should have in mind that they don't have a share in it. They don't want. So they'll give them money. Sorry?
Jews aren't supposed to ask somebody who's not Jewish to do things that they can't do either. Like, you can't have on Shabbos somebody come and be like, oh, turn on all my lights and off and on and off.
Okay. Oh, very good. So what's the difference?
It's not Shabbos.
They don't have an obligation not to.
Okay, they're asking us. It's the other way around. Okay, you understand? They're asking us. You're not allowed to, you're right, they're not allowed to tell somebody, a non-Jew on Shabbat, to do for you something, but now it's the opposite, right? The non-Jew is asking to participate with him something that is not a prohibition for him. He's allowed to do it. He's allowed to have a curved image.
Investing in the business.
He's allowed. It's not a problem for him. He's not doing anything wrong. For me, as a Jew, it's a problem to make these images. So fine, so I'm allowed to participate for him that he should have it, and I don't have in mind. I have in mind that I don't want to share in it. So guys, let me explain to you. They're asking here the following, guys. I have a partner that he's a non-Jew, right? He wants the shop open on Shabbat. Is he allowed to open the shop on Shabbat for him? Okay, so for the Jew, right? I'm Jewish, right? And I have a partner that is not Jewish, right? I'm not allowed to open the shop on Shabbat. Is it a Torah problem, rabbinic problem, right? Okay, but I'm not allowed to open the shop on Shabbat. Now, the non-Jew, sorry, is he allowed to open the Shabbat on Shabbat?
He's not keeping Shabbat.
He's allowed to.
He's allowed. So the way to work it out is very simple. We make a deal like this, that we're partners, and the profits of Shabbat go to the non-Jew. So I'm partners with him 6 days a week. One day he's on his own. And all profits that are being done on Shabbat, or that we'll have on Shabbat, goes to him. So, and it doesn't matter the numbers. If I make during the week $1,000, and on Shabbat he makes $5,000, the $5,000 go to him. Okay? So you're out from the deal on Shabbat. That's the way to work it out. So let me just explain over here. So again, yes.
So if you have him run the shop for you on Shabbos, can you like charge him a fee for having the rights to run the shop on Shabbos? Because you're not taking any of the money you've made on Shabbos. It's just a contractual deal.
Oh, so the idea is like this. You're not allowed to, again, you're not allowed to rook around and say, that because you're open on Shabbos and you're making more money, so you got to give me more money in a weekday, right? If in a weekday is 50-50, right, you can tell him, okay, I'll get in a weekday 70% and you get 30% because you get on Shabbos. You cannot do that. Because, again, you're gaining from opening on Shabbat.
But you don't want to, because if you keep the Shabbat properly, then Hashem will see to it that you make up whatever you would have lost.
The idea is the idea is like this, right? You're not allowed to make money on Shabbat. One of the things, your shop cannot be open on Shabbat. So you exclude yourself from that story. In terms of you, Matt, the shop is closed on Shabbat. That's it. As if that you don't know.
Right, but he's using my property, so like,
So what?
I just feel like if you want to use my property, not like a percent.
But you can't gain from it, you understand? In no way, one way or the other, you cannot gain from it. Directly, not directly, you cannot gain from it. So let me just make clear, guys. So what we learned today is we added to the prohibition of worshiping idols, not to have another God. We added today another 2 prohibitions, not to make the curved images, and not to worship them, and not to serve them, right? If somebody does worship them or serve them, that's worshiping idols, right? But we spoke about the prohibition only making them, right? Remember, if somebody makes a statue, it's not like worshiping idols. It's a prohibition, but it's not the level of worshiping idols. So 2 separate issues. Okay, guys? So the making, right, the curved images is a prohibition, right? And that only for a Jew, not for a non-Jew. Therefore, Moshe Feinstein answered him and said, yeah, it's okay to raise the money for the statue in the memory of Kennedy because a non-Jew is making it, right? And the Jews should have in mind that they don't want to pardon it. And that's okay, so you're covered from everything, right? A non-Jew is making it, he doesn't have a prohibition. And in terms that you have a share in a statue, just have in mind, I don't want to share in it, I don't want to own it. And therefore, you're okay. So you could raise money from that, and it's okay.
I don't want to share.
Okay, another thing that we'll deal with, how about dolls? Guys, if you have a baby girl, right, and she loves dolls, oops, is it a problem of image curves, curved images or no?
No,
So,
it's not complete.
oh, so that, right, so it's not, usually it's not complete, guys. Most cases it's not complete. It's always missing something. It's not exactly the real body, without to go into too much details, right? Now, another way is, right, Johan? Another way is that it's done in a way of, you see, of a game. What do you do with the doll? She throws it and she steps on it and she kicks it and that. So there's no concern of you might come to worship it, so it's okay. So those are the
Something that can really be said though, because like there's certain idols that are worshipped in really odd ways. Like there's one that
okay. So take it with a combination. Correct. So the 2, but so you have the first answer also, or that it's not complete, or that it's done when the children have it. For sure, it's not a concern. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day.